Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. Today I want to show you how I put a collar and a lead on a nervous dog. If you know my channel, you know all about Humps here. But if you don't know my channel, I've got 3 dogs. I've got Humps here and then somewhere I've got 2 more. Yeah, I've got 2 more there, having to sleep on their bed. Humps came to us about a year ago and he came from South Korea. He was rescued by an organisation that bring dogs over. They closed down the meat trade over there and meat trade factories, and then they rescue the dogs, and so that's where he came from. He was used as a breeding dog. We think he's roughly about 10, and he was used as a breeding dog, and so he lived his life in a cages were just stacked up on top of each other. So I spoke to the lady that actually went in there and got him. She said that the cages were just stacked up on top of each other and he was in one of them, and it was so the bottom of the cage was just cage, no actual floor into it, and as a result when he came to us he couldn't walk, his back legs were just, they'd had it. And the room was completely pitch black, and she said when they took the dogs out into the light their eyes couldn't cope with it because they'd never seen anything but pitch black. And the other thing with him is that he I would bend down so you can see him more, but if I bend down he'll come over. Let's give it a go. And the other thing with him is that he was so badly abused and beaten by the people there that when he came to us, he was really scared of like lots of people, and as a result, he was aggressive. You're stealing the shot, are you? You're stealing the shot. We've just got back from our walk, so they've all got dirty faces. And one of the problems with Humps was that when people went to put a collar or a lead on him, he was biting them. There were lots of instances when he was biting people because he was just so scared of everything. We're not talking about you, sweetheart. You had your issues, didn't you? You did come with lots of behavioural issues, but we sorted all them out, didn't we? We're talking about you, darling, aren't we? We're talking about you, my gorgeous boy. When I look into his eyes and I think about what he's been through, honestly, it does something to my insides. Yeah, I know, darling. I know. You need a cuddle. All right, we'll just have a cuddle and a fuss. One of the things that I am incredibly grateful for is that from the moment we met, he has trusted me. Haven't you, darling? You've trusted me. Yeah, you have. You've trusted me, sweetheart. Yeah, you have. You've trusted me. And one of the things that he does is, so with dogs will generally, if you're doing something to them where they feel that they might bite you, a normal dog, a normally well-behaved dog shouldn't bite. Let's just get that really clear. A normal, average, everyday dog in your house should never bite. We are talking about a dog that has come from extreme abuse. And I only rescue these dogs because I've been doing this for many, many years and I know what I'm doing. So if you've got a dog that's in your home and he's biting, that is not okay and you need to get help. So don't think when I'm saying about the biting that I'm talking and I'm being flippant about it, because I'm not. I understand how serious that is and how much a dog shouldn't bite. Okay, he's walked off. So should we look at you, Pickle, while we tell the rest of the story? Yeah? When a dog goes to bite, they will always growl before. Because generally speaking, a dog doesn't want to have to bite you. So they will growl first. But the problem is, when you've got a dog that is being beaten, they stop growling first. Because they learn that if they growl first, they just get beaten more. So without making any growling, there's no snarling, there's no nothing. Obviously, to a trained dog person, we would notice that they were licking their lips, they were raising their paws, there was behavioural, just by the absolute look of the dog, we would know. But these people don't care about that. They don't know and they don't care. So therefore, to stop getting beaten anymore, what these dogs do is they just go from nothing to bite. Nothing to bite. And that stops them from getting beaten more. And that's exactly what Humps was doing. He was going from nothing to biting people. So when he came to me, I was, like I keep saying, so absolutely incredibly grateful that from the beginning he's trusted me. And let me just make the point again. He's only with me because I'm a very experienced dog handler. Don't think you can just take on a dog that's biting people if you don't know what you're doing, because you'll end up in such a mess. It's a lot of work and you have to know what you're doing. So I'm going to show you 2 videos now. One video is me putting the collar and lead on him, and then another video is me taking it off him. So I just want to go through some things that I want you to look out for in that video. So the first thing is that I have to make sure, well, I'm always really calm with my dogs, always. It's vitally important to always be calm with your dogs. But what could happen easily is, and this happens a lot, is I'm rushing. And I'm rushing around to get ready and get the boys out for their walk, before the day begins. That could happen easily. So I make sure that if I have been a little bit rushed, I just take a few deep breaths. Where's he gone? And over here. That I just make sure that I just take a few deep breaths. This is my little Albert, if you don't know my little Albert. I make sure that I take a few deep breaths so that I am nice and calm. The next thing that I do is, you'll notice at the beginning of the video that he's already on the front door mat. So that is where he goes to have his lead put on. So 2 things happen there. I know that because he's got on the mat, he's okay for me to put his collar on. And he knows that if he goes and gets on that mat, big old tail, he knows if he goes and gets on that mat, then I'm going to put his collar on. So all is good. So you'll see he was already on the mat before that video started. When he first came to us, it used to take a little while for him to get on the mat. Sometimes he used to have to go and chew and rip a toy up just to get rid of some anxiety. And he used to have to build himself up for it. But these days he just gets straight on the mat. The next thing is that when he's on the mat, again, it's not so much now, but more in the beginning, I make sure that he's not licking his lips or lifting a paw, or his eyes. His eyes are incredibly expressive. And I just make sure that there's nothing happening. Again, that stuff doesn't really happen now because he's, he knows me so well. But that kind of thing would have been what I was looking out for more in the beginning. There's something else I have a really strict rule about, and I never break this. I will not put his collar on until he gives me complete eye contact. And that's just our little talk to each other saying, you okay? You okay? Yeah, all okay. Let's go. I've had that from the beginning. I've never put his collar on unless we've had eye contact. Now, the other thing is that you might be thinking, well, if he's never bitten you when you've been doing it, and he's not likely to now, and you've had him for over a year, and you've clearly got a strong bond with him, why are you bothering with all of this? I will do this until the day he's no longer with me. Because basically, with dogs like this, they have like PTSD. And so you never know what's going to trigger them. You never know. A smell, a sight, you just never know. And so you have to be really, really clear with them and don't ever get flippant about things. And so that I will always do this every morning with him, no matter what. Now, you will notice in the video that when I'm putting the collar on, I'm standing over him. That isn't good, and I wouldn't advise anybody to stand over a nervous dog like that. But the reason that I do it... Are you all right down here? Yeah. The reason that I do it is because if I bent down to his level and he did go to snap, my face is right there. And obviously I don't want that. And again, I'm really confident that he never would. He never has, and I'm really confident he never would. But he came with a lot of warnings, and one of the warnings were that he was snapping at people that were putting his collar on. So I have to remember that and have to be aware of it. And one of the massive things with Humps is that I never want to put him into a situation where he does bite me, because obviously that's just terrible in itself. But it breaks our bond, and so I never ever want to put him in a position where he does bite me. Then what will happen is, once we've got the eye contact, you'll see that I will ask him. So I won't say it now because he'll think I'm asking him, but you'll see that I'm asking him if I can put his collar on, and when I'm sure that he's okay with that, then you'll see that I put it on, and then the same with the lead. Then I go to put his lead on, I ask him, and again I make sure that he's looking at me, and then I clip his lead on. Then we just go off and do our walk. When we get back, you'll see that the whole thing is a whole load more relaxed, but I still have a procedure that I go through. You'll notice when we get back that I actually bend down to take his lead and his collar off, and that's just because the situation isn't as bad. it was putting the collar on that he was biting people. But I'm still very careful about when I take the collar off. So even though I come down to his level, you'll see that I still ask him when I take the lead off, and then I ask him when I take the collar off. And that is exactly the same procedure every day. And where he's sitting when I take the lead and collar off is exactly the same place that he sits every day. So, yeah, so you'll see now the video. So watch the videos, think about the things I've just said, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, Hubs, you put your collar on? Yeah, he's a good boy looking at me. Good boy. Come on then, let's pop your collar on. There we go. Oh, he's such a good boy. Gonna go for a lovely walk, aren't we, darling? Yeah, we are. Gonna go for a lovely walk. There we go. Yeah, he's a good boy. There we go. Oh, he's a good boy. There we go. Right, should we put your lead on now? Good boy. Right, you put your lead on. Yeah? Good boy. There's your loop. There we go. Put your lead on. There we go. We go for a lovely walk. Good boy. Right, Hubs, you take your lead off. Yeah? Take your lead off. Oh, he's a good boy. And we just grab your collar. Take your collar off. Yeah, he's such a good boy. You were such a good boy on the walk, weren't you? You were such a good boy. Oh, there we go. Take it off. There we go. He's a gorgeous boy. Right, so that's the video. So you'll see how well that went, and that was all fine, and it all went very well. And I hope that if you're dealing with a dog, remember, like I said before, if you're dealing with a dog that's biting you because you're putting a collar on him, if you're a very experienced dog owner, I doubt if you'd be watching my videos. So if you're watching this and you're not an experienced dog owner and a dog is biting you because you're putting a collar on him, you have to get help. If you don't know what you do in that situation, it's only going to get worse. You know how I'm constantly going on at you about your energy. Vitally important that you are calm and you're relaxed and you're confident. Vitally important. Your energy is your biggest communicator. Please don't do that, Humps, on camera. You're gonna lick you. Yep, you are, aren't you? All right, let's go down and look at Pickle Boy. Shall we look at Pickle Boy? Humps is having a wash. He's having a personal wash. You stop now, darling. Your energy is your biggest communicator with dogs, and so make sure that you're calm. Make sure that you're relaxed. Make sure that you're not scared. If you're scared, he's going to want to know what you're scared about, and that's not going to help. But like I said, if you're not an experienced dog owner and your dog is biting you because you're putting a collar on him, you have to get some help. I was going to say something else, then it's gone out of my head because I was looking at it. Suddenly just started tipping it down with rain. I think... Right, sorry about that. Right, so I think the most important thing is, for me, with anything that I'm doing with Humps in those kind of situations, is that I plan exactly what I'm going to do. So I think it through beforehand, I plan what I'm going to do, and then I do it. I don't ever... And that, I mean, I handle him an awful lot, and you've seen what he's like with me. He's absolutely fine. We have a very, very, very good bond, don't we, darling? But if I'm doing other stuff with him, grooming, things like that, I just have a think about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and I stick to the plan. And that's really, really important, so that you know where you are and you know what you're doing. So that's it. So that's how to deal with a dog that actually, I know what I was going to say. If you've got a dog that is not biting you, so you're not dealing with aggression, but he is nervous. For some reason, he's nervous about, maybe he's nervous about the walk. For some reason, he is nervous. That procedure that I went through is still very good for the dog, because you're letting the dog give you permission to start the walk and to put the collar on. And so it's very good, just for, even if you just got a nervous dog that's nervous about going on walks, that procedure, that little thing that I did, it would be very good, because it's very reassuring for a dog. He knows exactly where he stands. So that's it for today. We're going now, Humps, aren't we? Are you all right, Humps? Told your story, aren't we, sweetheart? Look into those eyes. How could anybody hurt them? How could they, darling? How could they hurt you? I can't talk about it when I'm with him, because it makes me mad. Doesn't it, darling? It does. I've got no dogs. They've all gone. They've all left me. Why have all my dogs left me? Right, okay. So, that's it for today. So thank you very much for watching. You know, as always, any questions, any help you need, ask me. There's not much I don't know about dogs, so ask me. Thank you very much for all your help and Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.